I'm going to be honest, the vast majority of beginner and amateur SMMA and agency owners that don't do these three like dead simple things when trying to hit 10K a month astounds me. Instead of focusing on these three things, a bunch of these people, they focus on their website or their logo, the name of their company, what niche to pick, or they're just complaining that they're not rich instead of just starting and learning how to grow. And don't get me wrong, if this is you, I'm not trying to attack you when I say this because I was in the same position myself early on in my journey. It may sound shocking to me, but you can pick a different niche later on. I've got a video coming on niches in a little bit. There's no need to spend 4 weeks on market research just so you can find out exactly what's going to make you a little more money. Just start. Starting is the most important part, and one thing a lot of people even fail to do. So just go where the money already is, get started, then you're ahead of a lot of people. You also don't need any testimonials for what I'm about to show you. Number 1, build a solid offer. What is an offer? There's so much confusion about what an offer even is. Sell a good deal. People buy good deals, especially if you're in the lead gen space. Some people are in like the content editing space or something like this. You'll still want to sell a good deal, but if you're in the lead gen space, one thing that's really important to note is that you're selling services that actually give people a strong ROI multiple even after they pay you and they pay for advertising if that's the case. And this is like the number one most key thing out of this entire video. If you have 0 testimonials or 0 client case studies, 0 references, if you just sell a good deal and have a proof of concept, people will pay you if the deal's good enough. If you can ask people on sales calls, oh, if this was $50, would you do it? They're gonna be like, yeah. That's why, it's just a good deal. If you can't sell something, odds are you're charging way too much, and people often start charging way more than they're worth. Now, number 2 here is generating a steady and consistent flow of both leads and appointments. Now, before you freak out and go, oh, we've heard this before, just chill for a second. If you can't generate leads or you can't generate appointments, figure it out. That's what you have to do. This is your job. This is what you're supposed to do as an entrepreneur. You can't just walk out here, waltz into the comment section, hey Evan, give me your outreach message. No, like I worked to figure this out. You have to do the same thing. Nobody's just gonna hand you on a silver platter, here's $1 million business, go do it, and you're gonna be beautiful and perfect from day one. That's just not how it works. So you have to generate a steady flow of leads and appointments. What's involved is sending some sort of outreach messages, doing some sort of outreach, or starting with ads if you have the budget to generate leads, then call the leads, craft an entire intro call script so that you can reliably get in-person appointments at a rate of about 40 to 50% of all of your leads who you talk to, all of your leads in general. And until you have done that, something's wrong. You're not doing it well enough, so figure it out. Like seriously, like I'm not even joking. When I was starting out, I was focused on like, oh, the quality of my leads instead of just getting a lot of appointments. Now my appointment booking rate was really high and all this kind of stuff, and I had it figured out, but I didn't have enough leads. I was too focused on all this other garbage, and it paid off long term. I was focused on the product. Product first is really important. Making sure you're providing good products and services to people, being different in the marketplace. But you have to have a steady flow of leads and appointments. And if you don't, you're not gonna scale. You're not gonna get the money you want. So focus on that, please. Number 3, get good at sales. I'm sorry, but it's true. Once you get these appointments, you have to make sure enough of them are showing up, and then you have to make sure you're closing enough of them. This is where things get a little more complicated. You have to learn to get good at sales. It's gonna take you probably a few hundred calls. Sorry, it's gonna take you a few hundred calls to do, so do it. Bite the bullet, get into it, do it, and iterate as you go. Don't just like spend 2 months trying to come up with an offer, taking 3 sales calls and be like, oh, the offer doesn't work. It's like, dude, take way more calls. 3 calls is not statistically significant in the slightest. We're looking at a bare minimum of 30 calls before you get any idea of how well something works. But on top of that, if they're your first 30 calls ever, you're going to suck unless you have sales experience elsewhere. So if you're not closing your calls at least like 20%, something's wrong. Bonus number 4, don't overcomplicate things. Just literally, steps 1 to 3 that I just gave you, do them over and over and over until you lock them in. That's all that you can do. That literally, like that's how it's done. Like, if you're gonna sit here, not be at 10K a month, and then get mad at me for telling you that you need to book appointments and close appointments within a certain number, like, get a grip. That this is what you need to do. This is the cold hard truth. If you don't want to do it, maybe this isn't for you. I don't know. But get good. It'll pay off in the long term in the hugest way. You literally have no idea. So be patient, repeat these steps, you'll get it. I promise. If you don't stop, if you don't give up, this stuff just works. So many people just want to shortcut, oh, this is such basic information. Like, dude, if you're not doing it, then you can't complain. If you're doing 40 grand a month and you say this is basic information, sure. This video is not made for people who are doing 40K a month. So by all means, sure, it's basic information if you're doing that. But if you're at like 2 grand a month, a lot of this is probably relatively useful information. And if you want to deny that and say, oh no, that's obvious. It's like, yes, it's obvious, but are you doing it? Are you actually doing it? That's the question. If you're not doing it, you needed to watch this video. So don't come out here and like actually complain for me giving you information that is the truth about what you need to do if you're not doing it. So go do this. You'll stand ahead of everybody else because nobody wants to do this stuff. You'll do well. There's going to be some video on screen, wherever it is. Watch it.